Okay, so I was originally planning to just update my spreadsheet, make it a little bit dynamic, and share it with everyone so you could just kind of like plug the numbers into the spreadsheet and it will tell you what to do. But kind of seems like it's more fun to understand the puzzle and solve it yourself than to just be told what to click. So I've kept the spreadsheet empty and it's currently being displayed on the left-hand side of the screen. And we'll just populate it as we go, and we'll explain the logic behind our choices as we progress through the encounter. Some stuff I'm going to explain up front, some stuff I'll need a little bit more data to look at retrospectively to explain why we make the decisions we do. So we'll just start by populating the spreadsheet. So 62, 22, 37, 16, 12, 19, and 5. Okay, we're just going to end our turn. We're just looking for more data at this stage. 9, 66, 10, 92, 12, 93, and 79. Cool, so we have a repeated number in column 5. Now the common theory is that because this is the column where we have a repeat, that's the one we should hero power first, but that is in fact wrong. This is the only column you don't want to hero power. So I'm just going to highlight that yellow to indicate that we do not want to hero power this. We can hero power literally any other column we want. But at this stage, we're not being presented with any danger numbers, so there's no real reason to ping any of those other columns. So we're just going to pass again. So it's going to enter our actions we take after each turn as we progress further. So let's capture these numbers: 12, 37, 54, 85, 52, 34, and 77. You can see we've been presented with some danger numbers now in column 3. So this means that whenever we see one of these numbers, and it's not in a safe sequence, we need to ping it immediately or we will die on the next turn. Now, like I said, I'll explain why we didn't select column 5 on the previous turn. We'll get to that shortly, but for now, we're just going to ping number 3 and move on. Alright, our next sequence of numbers is 47, 10, 7, 77, 51, and 23. Now you'll notice we're seeing a danger number again in column 3. This is something that we can just safely ignore. So effectively what happens is each time we ping a column, the subsequent 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, subsequent 7 rounds are safe, even if a danger number appears in that column. That effectively means that the number that is appearing here just happens to be one that is a danger number ordinarily, but it's just occurring within that sequence. It's actually pretty common to see sequences of danger numbers occurring together. But in this case, we don't have any danger numbers in any other column, so we can just pass. Now we're increasing our risk pretty significantly by doing this, because we're leaving a lot of columns exposed, which increases the risk of having a danger number appear in more than 2 columns on a single turn, which is more than we can handle and ultimately results in us dying. So it's something that you may wish to address by populating a different column on turn 2 rather than passing. And you can also do the same down here on turn 4. But we'll get to that shortly. For now, we're just going to ping column 2 because that one contains a danger number, and then we'll continue. So now we've reached the turn where we have enough data to start explaining things. We're going to populate these values, and again you can see more danger numbers occurring in sequence, but it's fine because it's within a healthy series of numbers. So we can safely ignore any numbers that occur within this sequence. They're going to be okay. So now that we have 3 numbers in this sequence over in column 3, we can comfortably forecast the rest of the sequence because it always goes A, B, C, D, D, C, B, A. 4 numbers and then those 4 numbers reversed, right? So we're just going to enter these in as 10, 13, 7, and 54. We know that that's what the rest of the sequence is going to be. Now we also know that when we get down to this round, we have to refresh column 3 because it's a sequence that's ending on a danger number. We can't leave it alone, right? So now what we want to do is we want to make sure that as we progress, we eliminate the possibility of danger numbers occurring at the same time more than once in a single round, which means any other lanes that we activate, we should absolutely try to ensure that they don't finish at the same time as another one, right? So we know that this sequence is going to finish on this turn in lane 2. We know that lane 3 is going to finish on this turn. So we don't want to align any others to finish on those same turns, and we also would rather prevent the possibility of a, let's just call it a vacant lane. So a vacant lane is anything that we haven't flagged as safe, of allowing an occurrence of a danger number to appear there, right? So currently we have a lot of vacant lanes, 1, 4, 6, and 7. Now I'm going to come back to 5 in a moment. That one's actually also vacant, but we have some data to explain there before we go any further. So at the moment we have 4 lanes that could possibly surprise us with a danger number at any point, and we want to make sure that doesn't happen on the same turns that these guys expire. Now, as I said I was going to explain why we didn't ping lane 5 on our second turn. The reason for that is that these two numbers occurring back to back, that's not telling you that you need to ping this lane. That's telling you that this is an existing healthy sequence. So if you look at this 10 and 10 that we've already forecasted for lane 3, that mirrors the 12 and 12 that you see in lane 5. That means the 13 in lane 3 mirrors the 52 in lane 5, the 7 and the 50, the 54 and the 47, right? So that means everything up to here in lane 5 was actually safe, right? There was never any need, there was never any danger, no reason to ever ping anything in this lane, right? Up until basically the current turn. So now we have a choice. We can ping lane 1, lane 4, lane 5, lane 6, or lane 7. Now, it's completely up to you. Totally arbitrary. It doesn't matter which one you choose. There's no right answer. Just pick one that is exposed. So we're going to ping lane 7. And we're just going to copy the formatting to indicate visually that this lane is going to be safe for a while. And we're going to ping it. So let's populate the next series of numbers: 61, 13, 10, 47, 38, 81, and 68. And as you can see, we already knew that this was going to be a 10 because we pre-filled it. So thankfully, we don't have any danger numbers on the current row. We could absolutely, very well, without a doubt, we could pass our current turn, and we would have more mana crystals to play with later. But that also kind of puts us in a risky position, right? Because lane 1, lane 4, and lane 6 are still completely vacant, and lane 5 is no longer safe because its existing sequence, the sequence that started at the beginning, has expired. So again, completely random. We're just going to go with lane 4. Let's populate that bad boy, and we'll also put a. Actually, we'll come back to that later. Let's just do that for now. So lane 4 is our choice for this turn, number 47. Alrighty, so let's fill these in. We got 6, 10, 13. We already knew that. We got 50, 69, 54, and 78. So now let's go back over here. We already know what the rest of the sequence is going to look like now. We know it's going to be a 10, a 13, and a 7, right? So that's great. We also have a danger number in column 6 now, which means we need to address that immediately. It makes our life very, very easy. We don't have to think. We don't have to make arbitrary decisions. We just say, cool, red number, scary, let's hit it. So lane 6 is our choice for this round. Number 54 gets pinged, and we end our turn. Next round begins. For 10, we already knew that. 7, we already knew that. 52 goes in. 25 goes in. 7 goes in. And 71 goes in. The 7 in column 6 can be safely ignored because we just pinged it. That's not a real danger number. But we have a new danger number in column 1. So as you can see, leaving a few of these vacant by passing our first few turns means we're going to get kind of steamrolled by a lot of sudden danger numbers later on in the sequence, but that's okay because we have the extra mana crystals to handle that. So obviously, again, we need to address this danger number. We're going to be hitting lane number 1 as our choice this turn. We can also complete this sequence in lane 7. We know it's going to be 71, 78, 68, and 65. Yeah. So let's ping number 1. So now you can see we're going to be in a little bit of a difficult predicament, and I'll explain why in a moment. we're going to populate these numbers. 70, a danger number that can be ignored. 13, 54, a danger number that is expiring, and we'll come back to that in a moment. 12, 17, 13, and 71. So as I said, we have a danger number that is expiring. This is a predicament. What this means is if we don't clear this right now, we die next turn. Even though it's in the middle of a sequence, well, it's not in the middle of a sequence, sorry. It's at the end of a sequence. The sequence expires this turn. So we absolutely have to ping lane 3 this turn to keep ourselves alive, right? So let's capture that information. Lane 3, and we're gonna refresh this sequence. And because we're refreshing an existing sequence, the exact same numbers will reoccur, right? It's going to be 7, 13, 10, 10, 13, 7, and 54 again, yeah? This happens because we're just renewing an existing sequence, right? So nothing to worry about there. Now, if we finish off these last few numbers here, we know that this is going to be 12, 52, 50, and 47. Easy. Now, the predicament that I mentioned, right? We've kind of been neglecting lane 5 for a while. And there's a growing possibility that a danger number could occur there. Yeah, it could have actually happened on this turn, which would have been a bit of a problem, right? Because we needed to address lane number 3 on this turn. We absolutely had to do it. We didn't have a choice. I'll just move my cursor up there to make it more clear that I'm talking about this row here. And so if we had a danger number occur in column 5 while we had to refresh this one, then we're screwed, right? So a lot of what you're doing here is managing your overlaps to ensure that you're minimizing risk. And I don't think I've seen a complete run with 0 risk at all yet. There's always been a possibility that one of my turns I could have ended up with 2, but yeah, as long as you minimize it, it seems like an almost guaranteed path to victory. So anyway, enough talking. We're gonna tag that 3rd column and keep that guy safe. So next series of numbers: 7, 7, 7, 12, 8, 10, and 78. The 7 in column 1 can be safely ignored, not a problem. Same with the 7 over here, same with the 7 over there. They're all in the middle of sequences, so they're not an issue. The 54 that occurs in lane 2 next turn absolutely needs to be addressed. But for now, we just need to focus on this number 8 over here. That is actually a danger number. It didn't really surface for a long time as people were trying to figure out the puzzle. It only really came to surface when I was using this spreadsheet and repeatedly clearing it, just to ensure that I was doing the right thing, that I had a foolproof method. And along the way, like every now and then, I would fail, and I figured out that it was just the number 8 that was causing that. So number 8 is absolutely a danger number. It doesn't seem to occur regularly at the start of a run. It only seems to occur later in the run, like towards the bottom half. Not sure why. Could be like a bit of a weird anomaly. But anyway, number 8 is absolutely the one we're going to clear this round. So let's flag that and ping that. Okay, next round. We have 8s, so we have enough information about this sequence now. It's going to be 8, 7, 40, and 4. We have 54, 13, 52, 98, 10, and 68. So this sequence over here began and ended on a danger number, so it absolutely has to be refreshed on this turn. No question about it. So we are gonna copy the formatting. And because it's an existing sequence, it's going to be refreshing the same numbers, so we know exactly how it's going to finish up. And I just noticed, ironically, that the sequence in column 2 is the same as the one in column 3. This happens from time to time. Oh, and it's actually the same in column 6. Holy shit, that's the first time I've actually seen it happen in 3 columns in a single run. Usually 2 is the limit, but there you go. We've got an extra one here. So that's pretty crazy. Kind of wild that happened while I was recording. Not expected. Anyway, so like I said, we absolutely have to clear lane 2 on this turn. So let's do that. Alright, so now we have 8, 7, 10, 50, 6, 13, and 65. There is absolutely no danger on this row at all. Nothing we need to worry about or address. We could choose to refresh lane 7, and we would just repeat this sequence of numbers again. But there's no danger here, so I don't see any reason to do it. I'm just going to pass my turn. Now this does raise the possibility that I'll see a danger number in this column on the next turn. That's an absolute possibility, but that's fine because we don't have any risk of danger numbers in any other column next turn, so we can handle it if it happens. If it doesn't, we're great. So we're just going to pass our turn and see what happens. Okay, so we have 7, 13, 10, 47, 14, 7, and 74. Great, no danger number. So currently lane 4 is expiring, its current sequence, and it's not a danger number, so we could pass again, realistically. But this means that we know on the next turn that we have to refresh lane 6. This guy here, the 54, we know that has to happen next turn. Which means if a danger number appears in column 4 because we neglected it, then that means we die. And that is a very real risk. It's a coin flip at this stage. We could choose to do it and be safe, or we could choose to ignore it and we might still be safe. We just don't know. So what we can look at is the number of mana crystals remaining, right? We have 6 mana crystals remaining, and we know that we have to renew lane 6 next turn. We have to renew lane 1 the turn after that, and we have to renew lane 3 the turn after that. We also have to renew lane 2 turns after that. That means 4 of our mana crystals have now been allocated, right? That means we realistically only have 2 more mana crystals to get through the current turn, and the final 2 turns, plus this turn here. That's a big risk. It's not good odds, right? So I think the best thing we can do is to make a educated gamble, because we know that guy's going to happen down there as well, and we pass this turn. We do not do anything. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we have, how did I put a 40 in there? That's not supposed to be a 40, that's supposed to be a 70. Sorry about that, that was a typo. Cool, so we've got 70, 10, 13, 43, 14, 54, and 56. Our gamble paid off. We did not have we didn't have a danger number appear this turn. This guy, like we said, needs to be refreshed, so let's go ahead and do that now. Oops, I missed a cell. So we're going to be hitting lane 6 this turn. Subsequent numbers will be 7, 13, 10, 10, 13, and 7. And that lane is complete. We don't have to worry about that lane anymore yet. And we can start forecasting the rest of our turns in the sheet now. And we'll just go through the motions as we reach those turns, right? So we know that on the next turn, we have to renew lane 1. Okay? So let's go ahead and forecast that now. Oh, I missed a cell again. So we got 4, 77, 8, 8, and 7. And that's happening. The turn after that, we have to renew lane 3. So let's copy the formatting over. That's going to be 7, 13, 10, and 10. And that's lane 3. The turn after that, we have to renew lane 5. So let's copy that guy. That's lane 5 renewed. Then lane 2 has to be renewed. Seven and 13. And then that's it, right? That's everything that we know is going to happen over the next few turns. What could happen in lanes 4 and 7 will be the mystery that makes or breaks the run, right? So we, for this turn, we've already established that we have to renew number 6. So we're just going to go ahead and do that. And we can populate the new numbers as we go. So we got 4, 10, 7, 38, whoops, and 50. And we said we were going to renew number 1 on this turn. So let's do that. Now we can populate these numbers, which is 69 and 43. We said we were going to populate, refresh number 3 this turn. So let's do that. And we have a 7 over here. So this is one of the dangers that we were looking out for. This is going to cause some problems. We have an 18 over there. So this 7 needs to be addressed, right? We absolutely have to ping lane 4 this turn. Yeah? Sorry. Lane 4? Sorry, I got that mixed up. Sorry, that's a 25, not a 7. There we go. Yeah. Sorry, ignore that. So we're pinging like we planned to, number 5 this turn. Be good if I could read my own spreadsheet. Okay, so we have a 17 in this missing cell and a 26 in this missing cell. We said that we would be renewing number 2 on this turn. I didn't populate it for some reason, but it absolutely has to happen. So we renew number 2. Yeah, we have 8, 7, 10, 8, 6, 13, and 39. We have an 8 in color 4 that needs to be addressed. So fortunately we can spend our last mana crystal on that. And our last numbers were 98 and 70, but it doesn't matter because we have completed the run. It's that simple. Take risks when you can, clear danger numbers when you see them. Don't ever, ever click the repeat number on turn 2. That is the biggest thing holding people back. Cheers.